Hello, welcome to the art show at the gallery of the Weston Public Library. I'm Katherina Helmick, a member of the Friends of the Weston Public Library, and they are the ones that are sponsoring the show. With me today we have the current exhibiting artist, David Wesley Copplestone. He is from Wellesley, Massachusetts. And David, I also noticed in your studio that you have music in your background. And at this time
yes.
it's classical radio.
Most often.
What's the reason that you mentioned it?
Well, my father was a concert singer, so we always had music in the house. He was always playing the piano and practicing, singing. Always had classical music. You know, growing up, we weren't supposed to have the rock and roll. We had to sneak that somewhere with our portables, so it was classical, and classical is very good for the arts, for me to paint by in the background. It's inspiring. I can put on the different artists, and that helps me to keep going in the mood. And so music's important. Yeah.
Oh, that is a lovely aspect. Now,
yeah.
Is this, my understanding is that this painting is representative of your current art.
Yes, in that my art is, I focus on the colors. You know, I'll have the different motifs, which gives me the shapes that I can put my colors into, and they're always places that I'm interested in, so that while I'm doing my painting for the weeks that it takes to do it, it holds my interest and I'm excited about it. This, for instance, was, I call it the road home because it was
you know what,
a place where
I'm going to step out of the picture and let you tell us about your paintings.
I'll talk a little bit about this.
Okay.
Okay. As I say, this was, I titled it The Road Home because it was during a trip to Antigua that this was the road home to our, we went down on a sloop, a 50-foot sloop, and it was docked at the harbor down the street. So that we always passed this shack is what it was, really. I dressed it up a little bit. So I always loved that spot and the shapes of the cottage and the shadows that it was always casting. The light down on the island so beautiful and bright. And the shadows I could use here. I love I used the purples and the blues for my shadows. Always sparks up a painting. As Manet used his sharp contrast and his colors, I wanted to do the same. And so you'll notice I use this shadow going around the cottage as a focal point to bring the picture around. And also when I paint, I try to put the excitement into the brushwork. So you'll notice when I do the bushes or the background going back, I'll do it, you know, I'll get it in there quickly and freshly. I think that helps me with my paintings. And I'll use design, you know, where there isn't any. For instance, I needed something to bring this around, so I put the green. The green goes with the yellow. So I just react to a color, much as I did in my designs when I started at the art school with design. It's more or less I react to a color. I'll put a color down, and then I'll mix colors until I find a color that feels like I should put that with it. So that's how this green came in. I needed something in the design of the painting to make it flow, and green came to me, and I'd put some line down, see if I wanted another line, so I'd put another line. And that made me put another line. And that's how these things would go. And the same with any part of the painting. The red of the roof.
Did you learn that composition, or was it something that, you know, you feel, or did you teachers show you that? Where did
composition,
your training come from?
I think most of my learning is inspirational or instinctive. As far as the organization of a painting, the structure of the painting, we studied it in art school. I went to the Art Institute of Boston, studied with Jason Berger, Dominic Cratera, Nathan Goldstein, and others. And so we would study the formal training of structure of a painting, how to make it flow around, cover the canvas. But I think what drew me into the art world, well, having grown up in an artistic family, that was the thing that took me in. But what carried me into the painting world was the basic instinct I think I had for color, for mixing color, came naturally to me. at an early age, you know, so. And design, I think I go on instinct as far as what do I need? Do I need a blue here, or do I need a green over here, or a yellow, or whatever? That's, it's nothing formal training, that's something in a book that I would get it. I rely on my instincts.
I don't know, David, from what I learned from you, I think you probably are instinctively organized and know where the proportions and the things go, and it's lovely,
yeah,
organized. And now you do have a one on the right, which is a little bit more, it's geometric.
Yeah.
Can you tell us where, that looks very familiar.
It's done in Boston. I was in town at the Tremont Street. This is now it's a Starbucks. I titled the painting Starbucks. It's across from FAO Swartz. And I just love the shape of the building, all the ins and outs, you know, in the windows. All the windows had all these beautiful colors and shapes. So I saw that I'd have a lot to work with here. So once I had the basic drawing of the shape of the building, then I go to work with my colors, and then I'm free to do what I want. So, you know, a window may not be blue, but I'll paint it blue if I think it needs, if that is the color that I respond to. And so I don't necessarily represent exactly what I'm looking at when I paint. Whatever the painting needs for a color. For instance, the awning might not be exactly that color. That's not important to me. I'll mix a color that I respond to and that I feel the painting needs for its balance, and that's what I'll use. And so I was pleased to have that. And Boston's such a fruitful place to many motifs in Boston, the streets.
David, you're now standing in front for what I understand one of your early pictures.
Yes, I wanted to touch on my when I began going into the art business or into the art. I went to art school. I was going to a liberal arts college in Colorado, and I had decided after my first year there that though I enjoyed it very much and was enjoying the professors and the classes, I didn't see what I was going to be doing with those courses. I didn't see myself in the business world or whatever. So when I came back to Boston and decided to go to art school, Art Institute of Boston, so what I began doing at that time was I believed I wanted to go into the design aspect of the arts. And this is an example of what I was doing at the time. So I was doing design work, and this evolved into these designs. These was pastel, and I did, so I had a good sense of design is what they told me. So I just wanted to show what I was doing. I still enjoy the design work, but while I was there and taking the drawing classes and the oil painting classes, it just moved me into that direction. So I wanted to show you there and some of my earlier paintings.
Yeah, it's interesting because the way I see it, it has some geometry in it, and you did carry that geometry of the basic design over into your oils, didn't you?
It's the same thing. It's the balancing of the colors and the shapes. Now I'll do that in a painting the same as I'll do here. It's just this is so abstract. It has no one in there that you'll recognize. That's the only difference. I'm trying to achieve the same balance in color either way, with either the design or the oil paintings. All right. Now this painting, I wanted to give an example of my earlier paintings. The year after art school, for instance, I went over to South Natick, Elm Bank, and set up my easel over there. I used to enjoy traveling around and looking for scenes, and this one was so close. That was nice. But it had a beautiful 2 lakes there covered with algae, I think it was. That's what these colors come from. It was a beautiful effect. I think it was algae. But anyway, it was a beautiful place. No one was there ever when I painted day after day. So that's an example of the year I got out of art school. I was traveling around. I'll show you another example. This painting, I was traveling in Maine, visiting friends up there. A friend of mine had a cabin up there, and we used to stay up there once in a while. And I would drive around there again through the countryside up there. Wonderful. spending hours. And this, when I came upon this barn, I felt it was going to fall down pretty soon, so I better do it quickly. So I got out there, and there are many more days spent enjoying the countryside with my easel, this same easel, and painting these colors. And I enjoyed the format of the painting, the layout, although I needed some more balance, so I added some things into these the buildings up here and so forth. But I enjoyed painting that barn. I thought the colors came out nicely. I hope you do too.
And this one, David?
Well, an example also, as I went along, I would take whoever I could find. I'd like to do their portrait, and I had a friend sit for this one in the living room. But once again, at that time I was going to the museum quite a lot to look at the favorite painters. My teachers told me I had colors, interestingly, like Courbet, who has a lot of green tones, a lot of green colors. They asked me to look at his colors, and the Boston Art Museum, Fine Arts, is very good. Has many of the paintings I needed to look at the time. And but this more I was watching I was looking at the Manets once again for his colors. He had some beautiful portraits in town, and so I had a friend sit for this for a few weeks, whatever. Poor girl had to sit there for this length of time, but I thought the result was good. As a matter of fact, we won my first exhibit at the Wellesley town has a shop window arts exhibit once a year. And they awarded me the first prize that year, so I thought I was doing great right off the bat. But I thought that
painting, with that painting,
with this painting here, white lace, yes. I thought the colors came out nicely, and the sharpness of the face against her hair and so forth, and the whites of her blouse. That was enjoyable to experiment in. And so there's an example of an early portraiture work. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another examples of what I'm doing lately, we were traveling in Europe, and this, I call it Orange Windows, was outside of Marseille. Actually, it was a day after a hurricane had blown through, or what was left of the hurricane after it came across the ocean. So it was a very nasty day. We were driving all over the Marseille area, and I saw this hillside. Gave me an opportunity, I felt, all the shapes and structures going up that hill to carry a painting to its fruition. So that gave me the structure for the painting, and then I took my colors. I don't think the windows were orange, but that suited me, so that's why I named it the Orange Windows.
David, thank you so much for this gallery tour that you gave us.
My pleasure.
The background of all these paintings and the background of your artwork.
Well, thank you very much.